Truth is making a comeback. America's Top Stories with Lisa K. Donner.
Benghazi may be back. Based on a ruling by a federal judge this week, U.S. District Court Judge Royce Lamberth, a Reagan appointee, ordered both the Departments of Justice and State to comply with a FOIA, or Freedom of Information request, by none other than Judicial Watch. Lamberth doesn't seem to be joking around here and sounds like he expects both federal agencies to hop too. Joining me now is Liberty Nation's legal affairs editor, Scott D. Cosenza Esquire. Hi, Scott. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you.
Love that Liberty Nation t-shirt.
Thank you.
All righty. So is it just me, or is this whole Hillary Clinton thing not going away anytime soon and maybe, in fact, heating up?
Well, that's exactly what just happened. The ruling by Royce Lamberth really heated it up quite a bit by basically calling out both Departments of State and Justice for being deceitful, and that's sort of the least of it in their dealings with supplying this FOIA information that Judicial Watch is sued for.
Is it just me, or is this guy one of those take no prisoners judges?
Well, because of what happened in previous cases, I would say he is exactly the wrong judge. If you're a government lawyer and want to kind of, throw the carpet over some mess, he's not the guy for you.
That's interesting. Give me a little bit of history.
Well, he held two interior secretaries in contempt of court because of their rulings in mismanagement of American Indian funds that they were supposed to have held in trust. And he's called the Bureau of Indian Affairs, I believe, a racist institution. So he's a Reagan appointee, but he takes no truck from government officials who are doing dirt when they should be doing the people's business.
Well, let's face it, the BIA and the Bureau of Land Management are both a holy mess, so he's not too far off there. But basically, what is he ordered?
What he's ordered is for the State Department and the Justice Department to sit down with Judicial Watch and to come up with a production plan for discovery, where they will then go through and discover whether or not, through the looking at of emails and documents and other correspondence, whether or not the State Department illegally acted when they basically said, we have nothing to report for the initial information request. Let's recall, Lisa, this is about the Benghazi talking points that Susan Rice made on all 5 Sunday morning shows.
About the Islamic video?
That's what this case is about. What we presume is Susan Rice was giving these talking points to go and lie and call this terrorist attack. It was, so just for people who may not even know to this day because of the obfuscation, Benghazi was a coordinated terrorist attack on multiple U.S. properties, and of course our personnel who were there. First ambassador to die in the line, I think, in 30 years at that point. So it was pretty big deal, and it was very inconvenient for the Obama administration, though, because they should have. Some people would say they should have prepared more for the anniversary of the September 11th and in the Islamic world. And if they were terrorist attacked, then that makes them politically vulnerable in the upcoming elections. This was in September. The November election's not far away. So who told Susan Rice to go and basically say this was about some YouTube video rather than what the administration certainly knew at the time, that it was a terrorist attack? That's what this is about. This is about Judicial Watch trying to get at the root of that lie and discover its author. And go ahead.
All right. But Scott, can't they just cover this up and, get rid of a lot of information like Hillary Clinton did?
Well, not everybody, I think, is convinced that they will receive the same level of justice that Hillary Clinton does, which is to say that it seems like she can do simply anything at all and not suffer the fate of anything affecting her criminal interest. I'm sure that Justice Department and especially State Department lawyers will, maybe try to skirt around the edges of the law, but to have them actually destroy evidence or that kind of thing is probably a bit too far for most of those folks, Lisa. So Well, I take the gist of your question. I think they're probably, if there's some there to discover, I think some willing hands to go through the trash will discover the mess.
So is this guy alleging that state and federal authorities have essentially been involved in a cover-up?
Well, I think his exact words were that it strains credulity to believe that the State Department lawyers who were claiming that they had done a thorough check of their records for Hillary Clinton emails did not know that Hillary Clinton, in fact, used a personal server and that most of her emails would never be discovered by any check. So I think it's fair to say yes to your question.
Well, Scott, when is all this going to take place?
Well, we've got a few more weeks or a few more days at this point, actually, until the initial response is due. Whether that will actually yield more substantive news for us to talk about is probably won't. But when these things come back and they're reported on, and the facts of what is revealed from these discovery requests, well, then we will certainly have a lot to talk about then, I presume.
Well, maybe this will all come to a head around Christmas, and then Bill can get Hill a pair of skates, since she manages to skate all the time. Thanks so much for joining us. Scott D. Cosenza, Esquire, Liberty Nation's Legal Affairs Editor. Thanks so much, Scott.
Thank you, Lisa.
Truth is making a comeback. Visit us at libertynation.com.